Hi, everyone. Today, I want to share with you a training that I gave for some of our members that a lot of people said gave them the confidence that they could actually build a $1 million business. This is one of the most popular series that I do inside of our members area. It's called the 5 Days to 7 Figures Challenge, and it invites new entrepreneurs to map out their 7-figure plan. We come up with the products that they're going to sell, the ideal audience that will pay the most for those products. We come up with a launch plan that is virtually guaranteed to come out of the gate swinging with sales. And we talk about how to get that to 25 sales a day, because 4 products at 25 sales a day is 100 sales a day, which is what you need in order to have a $1 million business. This is the most popular thing that I teach at capitalism.com, so I wanted to give you an insider's peek into this training for free here on the channel. One of the first things that I teach new entrepreneurs is that they need to think about their customer as the hero in their own journey. A lot of people who have something to sell look at their product like it's the hero. Or if you create a lot of content on the internet like me, it can be tempting to think of yourself as the hero. But if you want to build a business that lasts, the pivot is when you start thinking about your customer like they're the hero in the story. We use the hero's journey as a way to illustrate this. The hero's journey is a common narrative that is used for pretty much every big blockbuster movie. It's when you have a central character who has a call to adventure, and then they run into challenges and trials along their call to adventure, and they eventually figure it out and they come back the winner. If you could think about your customer like they're on their own journey, you'll be able to communicate with them in a way that sells a lot of product. Here's how I explained it in the training.
You might be familiar with something called the hero's journey. The hero's journey was popularized by Joseph Campbell. And Joseph Campbell talked about how every major story arc has a central hero, and that hero is on a journey. The hero goes through a very predictable set of experiences that look like they have a call to adventure. Something happens in their life and they feel compelled to do something, but then they resist the call until they meet a mentor, and the mentor helps them overcome challenges on their hero's journey. And they go into this trial and this failure, and the mentor says, "No, you can do it. I still believe in you." And then it looks like they've just about lost everything until they finally realize that it's all about who I become in the process. I will take on this journey. And then they overcome all of those challenges and they return home as the champion with the elixir and the secret. On this process, inside of this hero's journey, I want you to start to think about yourself on this hero's journey. Where are you in this hero's journey? For some of you, you just experienced the call to adventure. You read my book and you're like, this sounds really intriguing. I think I want to do this. But you're lacking that mentor who can help you overcome the challenges. Some of you started this journey and you're in the trial and failure period. You're getting punched in the face. Business hasn't been so kind to you. You've gone through some setbacks in your life. That's been me the last few years, full transparency. Last few years punched me in the face too, guys. You're on some part of this hero's journey and now you're saying, oh, I need that person or that community or that mentor to help me overcome those trials and those failures so that you can grow, realize that this is all about a personal journey and you're going to overcome those and accomplish everything that you set out to accomplish. I want you to know that you have mentorship opportunities here. You have a community that supports you here. And if you think about yourself as Luke Skywalker, I am your Yoda. And my job is not to convince you that I'm Yoda. My job is to convince you that you are Luke Skywalker. My job is to convince you that you have the Force, that you can use the Force, and that when you use the Force, you can come back changed with the empowerment to be able to create the life that you desire. So a couple questions that come up at the beginning of a journey is, if we're building a business in 2023, is it still possible? Is it too late? Are the best times over? Have I missed the boat? Is the Amazon boom over? Is the Facebook ads boom over? Have I missed the big opportunity that I saw Ryan go through, or that I saw all those case studies go through? And the answer to this question, I would love to give you the straight no, you have not missed the boat. But the truth is, whatever you believe about the current marketplace, about the current economy, about the current landscape of business, whatever you believe about it, you will make true.
I am often asked by entrepreneurs if it's too late. Had they missed the boat? Are the good times over? Are all the good niche markets scooped up? Well, I've been an entrepreneur since 2006, and people have been asking this question since I started as an entrepreneur. When you see a lot of people making money and they're winning in some new cool way, it can be tempting to think that you're behind. But my experience has been different. I see more tools available today than ever before. I see more access to capital and opportunities, more data available to make decisions. Your answer to the question, is it too late, is the right answer. Because if you think that it's too late for you, you'll find evidence to support that. But if you believe that we're right at the beginning of a new trend, you'll go aggressive and go hard and find the next opportunity. You create the opportunities, and how you approach the beginning of your business is really what determines whether or not it's early or it's late or somewhere in between. Here's how I explained it to the people who attended this challenge.
So I can sit here and tell you, guys and girls, there are still so many opportunities. If you don't believe that that's true, you can't believe me. If you say, but there's a recession coming, no amount of me convincing you will show you that there is all kinds of opportunities during boom times and recessions. So rather than simply answer this question with a, yes, it's still possible, no, it's not too late, no, you haven't missed the boat, and the best times are still coming, rather than give you that cut and dry answer, I want to introduce you to a thinking methodology introduced by one of my best friends, Brooke Castillo. This is a quote from one of the podcasts that I did with Brooke. I've done, I think, 4 episodes with her. I would highly recommend looking them up. She is the master of the human mind, specifically for entrepreneurs. And she poses the question, is your industry shrinking or growing? You can find data points to support either side, or you can choose what you want to be true for you, adapt to that change, and then create your future. It is my opinion that human beings are not rational. We are emotional. And then we justify our emotions with logic and reason. If you give me an overly logical person, someone who is all in their head, can tell you all the data points about someone, that is someone who has covered up emotion with logic. Because I believe that we are emotional beings first, and then logical beings second, and that we use logic to justify our emotions. There's a book, you've probably seen this bright orange book on the shelf of every airport by Mark Manson called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's a good book. He wrote a follow-up book called Everything is Fucked, a book about hope. I thought the sequel was way better than the first book. He describes this phenomena as there being an emotional side to the brain and a logical side of the brain. And if you think about a human driving a car, the logical part of your brain, the logical you, is the one reading the map and saying, turn right, turn left, go here. But the emotional side of us is the one with the hands on the wheel. And the person with the logical map is saying, hey, turn right. We need to go right here. Recalculating, go left here. Go down on this road for 1.2 miles. But the emotional part of us has its hands on the wheel. And depending on how it feels, it will either listen to the logic or it will say, screw you, I'm turning left, even though the map says right. So that is the relationship between the emotional you and the logical you. And the reason I'm telling you this is because most of us think that we come to our decisions and the way that we view the world very logically. That is BS. We come to the way we view the world emotionally. So if you say there is no opportunity in the world right now, if you say there is a recession coming, if you say the good times have left us, you think that that is a logical conclusion about the state of the world. It is not. It is an emotional interpretation to the world. That is called fear. That's called concern. That's called worry. And then you go out into the world and you find the data and the logic to support that claim. So if you have come into this experience feeling doubtful, if you come into this saying, I've seen a lot of opportunities and I'm not sure this is going to be the one, that is an emotional experience that you are justified by logic. But can we flip it? Can we change it? And if we could change it so that we were trained to see opportunity, so that we were trained to see optimism, so that we were trained to see financial windfalls, so that we were changed to see all of the good stuff that was happening, how would that impact the way that we showed up as entrepreneurs?
What about a coming recession? What about economic challenges that we might be facing? Does that change the approach at all? My opinion on this is different than a lot of people who talk about economics or finance or entrepreneurship. I think that the next 3 years are an ideal time to start and to acquire assets. That means right now is a very good time to be thinking about building cash flow businesses and using that cash flow to invest in the stock market or real estate or put in other places, because we're going to have about a 3-year window where things are more on sale. It's not going to be this hot buzzing economy that we're all used to, but it will be a really good time to plant the seeds for the next boom. I explained it in this way on the challenge, and it really landed with the people who were there live.
So let me show you some data. Now, all of this is going to depend on what you believe. Do you believe that it is a good time to start a business? And what you will see come up for you, you might say like, that's bullshit. Or you might say, ooh, that's pretty exciting. Those are reflections of what your subconscious beliefs are. Data is data. How you interpret the data is based on your beliefs. So here is just some data for you. As a result of the last few years, specifically because of COVID, demand for e-commerce is up. There is more online shopping than ever. Here's a graph of retail e-commerce sales over the last 10 years. It's up. Also, supply is low. Because of COVID, there was this massive supply chain issue and it put people out of business. And then you know what happened? They overcorrected. So all of these people who supply small entrepreneurs, they overordered and they're sitting on inventory and they need to get rid of it. Meaning that there are manufacturers that are just super hungry to work with people like you. One of my manufacturers called me a few weeks ago and he said, look, I just want to level with you. We need more business. Now, a year prior, it was impossible to get one of these manufacturers on the phone because they were like, look, we can't keep up with demand. We cannot keep up with demand. We can't even take on new business right now. That was the reality a year ago. Today, that same manufacturer calls me and says, we have about 70% of our capacity open. What do I need to do to win your business? I'll be price competitive. I'll give you priority in terms of fulfillment times. Like, what do you need? I will fight for your business. Oh, well, this is different. So there are fewer entrepreneurs entering the marketplace and manufacturers have an excess of capacity, which means demand is up, supply is low, and price to come to market is down. Next, there are more resources available than ever before. You can outsource everything. You can even outsource your thinking to AI now. You can outsource your product ideas to AI. And there's capital everywhere. There are people who are running away from the stock market and away from real estate because of economic conditions. And they're saying, I'd love to fund a startup right now with a good plan. There's more capital flowing into private markets than ever. This is a graph of venture capital, meaning private money coming into the marketplace over the last few years. So capital is aplenty. And there's increased demand for products and brands because there are high valuations for good companies and customer demand is very high. So we have this very interesting sweet spot where we all are right now. But what about a coming recession? What if the markets fall off a cliff? What if the economy goes down the toilet? Well, as interest rates rise, the price of things do come down. So the valuations of e-commerce brands are down compared to where they were at their peak because interest rates are high. So what that means is that right now is not the time to be selling your business. For those of you who have followed my work for a few years, you know that I have helped people grow a business that they can sell. Now is not the ideal time to be selling. Now is the time to be building or buying businesses. Now is the time to be building. So if you have been procrastinating for the last few years, waiting for the right time to start, it's now. It's right now. Now's a really good time. Now's a good time to be starting and building. Because over the next few years, you'll come out ahead and then you'll have something you can sell. This has been ASMR, AMSR. This has been Whispers with Ryan, brought to you by OnSwitch. As a result of current times, competition's low. There's fewer entrepreneurs entering the market. A bunch of people sold their businesses in the last few years. The people who bought their businesses tanked the company and went out of business. And all these aggregators and private equity groups and big boys that were entering e-commerce, they're all gone. Ask me how I know. Because I sold a company for $15 million to a private equity group. They ran it into the ground, bankrupted it, and I bought it back for less than $1 million. And now I'm rebuilding that company. It's called Sheer Strength. Don't look it up because the company tanked it. It should be called Shit Strength. And I have been rebuilding it for the last 5 months, and we will relaunch it here. We just relaunched our first product, and we'll probably have the whole product line launched around summer, and it's going to be really good. So even I am going back to scrappy starter mode. Private equity groups are running away from e-commerce, and enter me and you, because right now is a really good time to be building. What's old is new again, my friends. It's like the olden days. Competition is low, the customer demand is high, and we have a really sweet opportunity right now. So other things that are on sale right now look like product, because manufacturers are now hungry for business. Shipping costs are coming down. And oh yeah, ads are getting cheaper because Facebook stock is down and they're competing with TikTok. And Google is competing with ChatGPT now. And so we have reduced advertising costs too. Ladies and germs, what does this look good for? If ads are getting cheaper, manufacturers are hungry for business, competition is low, and demand is high, what do you make of this data?
If I'm right that we're in a really good time to start a cash flow business, what's the model to get there? Well, in my book, I talk about how $1 million business is simply 4 products that take 25 sales a day at a $30 price point. That's 100 sales a day, $3,000 a day, $1.1-ish million per year in top line revenue. And the way that you get there is by choosing a person that you will serve, seeing them as the hero in their own journey, building a tiny little group of these people, and launching one product to them that gets to 25 sales a day. And throughout this challenge, I explain exactly how to do that. It looks like building a little audience, using them to get reviews, and doing simple forms of advertising that get it to 25 sales a day. Then it's about repeating that process over 3 more products so that you end the year with 4 products doing 25 sales a day.
1 year from now, do you think it would be reasonable to have 4 products that sell 25 sales a day? Would that be reasonable? Can you envision that? Can you believe that? Can you create the reality? Can you create the possibility that you have 4 products doing 25 sales a day? I'm seeing tons of yeses here in the comments. Well, if you believe that, if that is possible, then here's the math behind it. If you have 4 products doing 25 sales a day, that's 100 sales a day. at a $30 price point, that's $3,000 a day, which is $90,000 a month, which is 1.1-ish million dollars a year. So if you can see a possibility of 4 products doing 25 sales a day, then you have created the possibility of $1 million business within 1 year. Here's the overall strategy to do that. This is my strategy summarized. Number 1, you pick a person, any person. Number 2, you choose 4 products that person buys. Number 3, you build a tiny little group of those types of people. We're going to cover all of this in detail throughout this week. Once you have a tiny little group of those people, and you know what 4 products that tiny little group buys, then you do what we call a profitable launch process. You launch the first product to that tiny little group of people on Amazon or Kickstarter. Your target is to have a $10,000 launch to those people. You then grow your sales to 25 sales a day, which at a $30 price point is $22,500 per month. And you repeat that process until you're at 100 sales a day. That's it. We're done. Go do that. Go forth and prosper and procreate. This is my strategy in a nutshell. You pick a person. You choose 4 products that person buys. You build a tiny little group of those people. Then you complete a profitable launch on Amazon or Kickstarter. Grow that to 25 sales a day. And then you repeat until you're at 100 sales a day. That's it. Now, what's the difference between a brand and a product? Well, a product is something you sell. A brand sells to a person. This is a huge difference. A product is something you sell, but a brand is a group of people that buys products. So a product needs to be a good idea, which means it has a high failure rate, and the first person to come up with that idea wins. A product can fail, and therefore the business goes under. People can undercut you in price, and they're easy to copy. A product needs to be different from everybody else. But a brand is different. A brand focuses on one person who buys over and over and over again. A brand gets one person and gets many sales from that person. A brand does not need to sell products that are different. Selling mattresses for a better night's sleep is different than selling mattresses that relieve back pain, but it can be the same mattress. A brand grows slowly and consistently over time as it gets more customers and launches new products. Products tend to fade. Brands tend to grow. I am going to teach you how to build a brand, not sell products.
I don't just teach this stuff, I do this stuff. I both am starting new businesses and investing in businesses that are following this formula. This is my work, and it's what I truly believe. It's really where my money is. I'm betting on the next 3 years being a really good time to start businesses. And if you follow this formula, whether it's by watching this free content or it's following somebody else's work, I believe that this is a really good time to get into the game as an entrepreneur. What you just saw was a summary of day 1 of this 5-day challenge. The rest of the days we went through choosing your person, building small audiences, choosing your products, getting them to 25 sales a day, having profitable launches, and having a very clear plan to get to at least $10,000 a month as fast as possible. Because if you hit the $10,000 a month mark, you at least know you've got something that you can build upon. If you want to go through this challenge, there's a couple options. You can buy it for $100, or you can get it for free when you test drive a new group that I put together specifically to help entrepreneurs who are starting the road to 1 million. This is where I'm helping people get clear on their idea, execute the 5-day challenge, giving them feedback on their ideas, and then guiding them towards the decisions they need to make in order to be on the path to $1 million net worth. If you want to get it for free, just go to capitalism.com/road, like the road to 1 million. And if you found value in this lesson, let me know. You can email me at ryan@capitalism.com. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'm Ryan Daniel Moran with capitalism.com. I hope you enjoyed this lesson as much as the people who were attending it live, and I hope to see you inside the group. Take care.